Hi, dear students. Today I have the honor of having with me on this channel Rank 14 PCI Chandigarh, June 2020, Dr. Srivardhan. And Dr. Srivardhan has been a DAMS AIMS test and discussion student at the DAMS Delhi Karol Bagh Center. And I'm so proud of his achievement. I'm really excited to be interviewing him today and actually asking him questions today. So, Srivardhan, tell me, how does it feel right now when you have gotten such a great rank in the PGI exam?
First of all, good evening, sir. Thank you for having me on your dance platform. I'm feeling really good because the burden of studying any further the subjects which you do not like or which you do not feel like reading anymore has been taken away from me, and my heart feels a bit lighter right now. So I'm very happy for having achieved more than what I expected. So I'm really thankful for the entire dance team and yourself for definitely bringing us a beautiful thing like dance to all the students in India.
Shivardhan, tell us about your experience with the DAMS classes and the experience with the eMedicos app where you used in this during this course duration. How was your experience overall, and tell us more about it. When you first joined, what were your expectations, and did we meet those expectations or not?
Well, that's a very lengthy question, sir. I would answer it piece by piece. So, my first exposure to dance has been in my second year when most of my classmates have joined dance. So I thought, why should I not give a try? So I was in Pondicherry at that time doing my MBBS. So I went to the nearest dance facility and I've had few sample classes delivered, and then I thought I should really join, and then I joined it, and but I could not take it off to attending, because then immediately after that I thought of giving USMLE. So I paid the course fee and I could not attend any of the classes, and I went to USMLE studying, and then came third year, that went totally for my USMLE preparation, and then fourth year was totally towards my final year preparation, and then came internship, and in Jipmer internship is very hectic, so I couldn't study really anything, any part of my preparation. So after getting relieved in late December last year, 2019, from internship, in January 2020, I started my preparation by joining TND face-to-face classes at Karol Bagh branch in New Delhi by DAMS. Why I joined face-to-face? I live in Andhra Pradesh, which is 3,000 or roughly kilometers from Delhi. I wanted to join face-to-face Delhi because last 4 or 5 years or so, many of the high achievers were from Delhi sector. So I thought I wanted to see what's there, what's happening there. Something hot must have been happening there. So I wanted to see that. So I've come right now, right from January 1st. I was there in Delhi right through the lockdown, and I think it's only 5 days since I came back home. So I joined face to face, also because to the energy of the students there. You will get to know where you stand, what knowledge levels you have when you see and compare with other students who are performing there, and when they ask questions, and to what extent of questions they're asking at the face-to-face class, you get to know how the performance is, and you will know where you stand, and how deep you have to study. So that's why it's one of the few reasons I've taken AIMS face-to-face TND. So and most of the TND, I think I've had around 14 to 15 subjects of TND live, and the rest were, forcibly shut because of the lockdown. So I think your class was missed and mom's class both were missed. Face-to-face classes were missed during the lockdown. So it's okay, but fine. You've given your best over the app. So there is nothing in comparison to face-to-face AIMS TMD by dancer, because one the energy in the classes were far beyond any other course which I think by any other institute right now in the country. So the TND AIMS was really pivotal. It always gives students the extra edge which they want, and help us achieve what we were craving for.
Srivardhan, now that, when you look back today after getting such a great rank in such a great institute, and I'm sure my fingers are crossed for your JIPMA result as well. I'm sure we will have another interview by you after that as well. But till that time, by the time JIPMA declares that result, any particular teachers who come to your mind today? When you look back and you were really excited with their classes, or you were very, impressed by what they were delivering?
Yes, sir. I would like to mention many, but I have time constraints in view, so I'll just strictly restrict myself to few of the excellent dance faculty members, which I think one is definitely Micro Surya sir. The way he teaches, I don't know. I've never seen such a interesting lectures. The amount of humor he puts in. Of course, it's the only 8 hours of my experience with him, or I don't have anything more than 8 hours, but within those 8 hours of one TND session, he has made micro TND as funny as it can be. And one more mention is for Aftal Saurav sir. He has all the patience, and he has been doing it for so long and dance, but every time he comes in and takes a class, it will be the same energy. And lastly, I would like to thank forensic medicine faculty, JP sir, as well. All of these, more the humor, it will be more engaging for the student to sit through 8 hours or 9 hours of TND. So I was not blessed to listen to you and mom and other orthopedic classes, but so far of those 15 or 14 classes I've been to, these three were definitely impressive.
Did you attend our classes that we conducted live later on in the lockdown e-medicals? We did that radiology TND and gynae TND. Did you miss that, I think?
I was not aware, sir. I was following AIMS TND schedule. So
in the app, we have a recorded version also, but I think
I followed the recorded version of.
Nothing like the live classroom, actually. Nothing like the live classroom.
The energy in live classroom is really, really vast, sir. I sincerely pray that you should spread this live culture, to other main centers as well, in down south, or not restricted to Delhi, at least for AIMS TND.
Definitely. And Shivardhan, also tell us about the quality of questions also. Like you almost managed to look at all the TNDs and some mock tests also. But were you happy with the quality of questions and the discussions that the teachers do, and the quality of the questions that they use?
Yes, sir. Definitely, I was happy with the quality of questions. There's no question about it. So, dance has been doing this for 20 years, and so I don't question any anything less out of the dance. So definitely, all the questions were beyond expected. Some were. I'll definitely mention someone here. Surgery part 2, genitourinary and gastric. I think it was Dr. Tiwari. He took a AIMS TND part 2 of surgery, and I think I should tell you that that was the toughest question paper I faced so far, sir. Really, when we face such toughest questions, that too in a field like surgery, where students are not as elaborately or exposed to like in others like medicine, or where will be exposed adequately. In surgery, if you face such tough questions, it always gives you the edge, and brings you and puts you ahead of many. So Tiwari sir, thank you for making that question paper. Of course, I scored very bad, so did many others. So, but the efforts and the juice that we were able to grasp out of the questions, or for the TNT session, I was not expecting anything like that.
And actually, speaking, Shivardhan, what we try to do in TND is that we don't shy away from tough concepts. Like, I tell all my teachers to put
Sorry, I'm not able to hear you.
Are you here? Are you able to hear me now?
I'm not able to hear you, sir.
Okay. I think should be there only this time. But I think I am able to hear you properly. Are you able to hear me? No.
I'm not able to hear you, sir. I can't.
Okay. Is this your phone? Are you on the phone? Can you connect a headphone or something to maybe it might make it better?
Headphones. Yes, sir. Sorry
Now,
for that.
now is it better?
Yes, sir. Yes, it's totally fine.
Okay. And we also conducted that CBT, AIM CBT that we were supposed to conduct in the computer centers, and then because of the corona, we converted into a home-based test. How was your experience with that?
It was smooth, sir. There were no problems at all. Even though I did not have a computer right there at Delhi, I was able to manage it on other smaller devices. So the test platform was smooth. There were no technical issues I faced, or I have listened from other friends that they have faced. So it's very good to see that DAMS is able to conduct both offline and online at equal smoothness and flawless.
Thank you so much. And Shivardhan, what was your experience with the AIMS capsule that you have on the eMedicos app?
AIMS capsule is the shortest, crisp version of a crash course which someone can get right now, sir. That's what I feel. I've done AIMS capsule alongside with my subject T&Ds whenever the exams or their classes are due. Unfortunately, I did not have so much luck with the AIMS exam this year. So, but definitely I'll suggest AIMS capsule not only for AIMS but for also other exams, because they all contain all the high yield information which someone needs to know, and it's like a must know, and also the extra aspects are covered along with the DVT. I guess I think DVT is also pivotal in one's preparation, like especially when someone is having such a short time like me from January to May. So
Shivardhan, I also want to know from you your analysis of the PGI exam. Like this time they had visual questions as well. What was your idea about the exam? Like, do you feel the difficulty level was, how was the paper?
yes, sir. It was nothing other than what you've reviewed after the PGI exam. So yes, it had a lot of visuals compared to last year November, but they were doable. There were graphs on Michaelis-Menten equations, and then there were so many image-based questions like ECGs and all, which were traditionally not a part of PGI exam previously, FSC previous papers. But this time, especially what I considered very difficult were national health programs, along with the clinically related antimicrobial questions which they've asked, which I had no idea about the bacteria or fungi they were talking about, and then they were asking questions like this is resistant to, intrinsically resistant to which all antibiotics, so which I had absolutely no idea of, but then I took some educated guesses, and then I got through. So the microbiology related clinical medicine aspect along with health programs were the toughest this time, I felt. Hopefully I don't have to give another exam to see how the pattern changes. So
Definitely. Shivardhan, also tell us about the JIPMER exam that you appeared for. Like, how was the JIPMER exam this time?
JIPMER exam this time was really different, sir, because I am from JIPMER, so if I've compared the previous years of JIPMER, it mostly focuses on genetics and basic sciences. Most of the times you don't know what disease he's talking about, and then he'll go into the gene and locus and chromosome pointing and all that stuff. But this year it was definitely, I was surprised by the type of questions which we have seen. They were simple, they were straight, and they were there's a lot of clinical weight to the question. There were cases, and then as usual physiology, there were calculations, and in social medicine less of health programs and more of statistics, biostatistics, and so they are interested in that part of social medicine. So this year JIPMER exam was really took a turn, sir. So I think they are coming more back into the clinical subjects, and giving more importance to clinical aspects of basic sciences. So, and I think there were very few image-based questions this time. So I do not know what's happening right there at image-based section. So, and there were no assertion reason, or there were no multiple completion and all, but there were so many pick the only false statement and pick the only right statement among those questions. So they were a constant. So JIPMER exam really took a turn this time. So we don't not know how it's going to be in November. I hope they continue the same and do not get back to all this cranky genetics.
Yeah. But I talked to a lot of students, and most of them had an opinion that this time the difficulty level was moderate. It was not the high difficulty level paper, and the rare syndromes, rare diseases, they have actually were not there in this paper. I think that's a good thing that has happened in the JIPMER exam this time, because to test MBBS graduate on rare syndromes sometimes is not right. I feel, because it is sometimes the graduate may not have heard of them, and there's no point in testing them, I think. And like, what makes you the high achiever that you are? Like, what is the mindset that you have that makes you the high achiever that you are?
I am only a high achiever when it came to the single exam, sir. My AIMS result is nowhere comparable to the high achiever. So I'll answer the later part of the question. For PGI exam, it's as you say, as you reviewed it correctly, 1250 decision points have to be made. Most of the microbiology questions on antibiotics, I had no idea of. So I would go low. I would if there is some question like this microbe is resistant to which all, and it's something which I've never heard, I'll go with the least number of options which I would tick in, and for as you reviewed, I would go on an average 2 to 3 options per question. And if it's a most question or it's an obviously superlative question, I would go with one option, and then I would attempt as many questions as I would do. And time management is definitely something which PGI exam has to be accounted for, because there are 1250 options you need to review, and time is same 3 hours for both AIMS, PGI, JIPMER, for all the three. And the other two AIMS and JIPMER are 250 and 200 questions, and this is 1250 points if you'd ask me. So definitely you need to keep track of the time, and I would also suggest DAMS to start PGI based mock exams or something like that, if your tech support permits it, because not many, and I don't think any platform right now available does this PGI based mock exams. But then it'll be really good if something like that happens alongside with AIMS CBT, that every year twice it happens with DAMS.
Definitely, we'll do a PGI mock this time before the November exams. I think this time in the mid-year, I think because of the multiple delays, nobody was really sure when things are going to happen, and it was, it was tricky for everybody, including us as organizers. So we'll do a PGI mock before the November exams. Definitely, we appreciate your suggestion. So Shivardhan, do we have your parents around, or can we say congratulations to them personally right now? Is that possible today?
No, sir, they're not at home right now.
No problems, no problems. And Shivardhan, can I have some final, message for future aspirants from you? Like, something that like you feel before that message, I have another question for you, very specifically for you. What made you decide, from USMLE back to PG, and what initially made you decide for USMLE? I think because that is also a thing that all the youngsters have in mind right now.
That's a very long question, sir. If time permits, I would answer it in 2 to 3 minutes. But I don't know how much you can afford on that.
We have time for you. Don't worry.
Okay, sir. So I joined DAMS right back in second year. I paid the fee, but I could not attend because I later decided on to go to USMLE after seeing some of my friends, and after listening to my dad telling stories about his colleagues, friends who are now right there and there. So I've also decided to go with USMLE, but then I've given throughout my entire third year. For the first half of third year, for 6 to 7 months, I had my preparation, formal USMLE preparation with Kaplan Medical. I've given around all the NBME sample tests, mocks, which were available then. I think at my time there were 8 to 9 NBME standard mocks available. So I've given all of them, and I've got on an average 245 score. NBMAs were very predictive of the final USMLE score as far my seniors are concerned or friends are concerned. So I also expected a score of 245 plus or minus 10. But the biggest mistake I've done before attending the exam is I had no revision. So all subjects I've done once, I've given the NBMAs to the last all 8 in a sequence of say 3 days. So in 2 weeks I finished all the NBMAs, and then without any revision I went to the final exam towards the end of third year, and then I had a score of 230, which was no breaking to me, because to a person who scored 245 consistently on all NBMAs, falling back to 230 and compromising on what state you would be doing your residency in. Obviously, I do not want to do it in Arizona or Arkansas, or where all a lot of you know about Arizona and Arkansas. So I later decided, after talking to so many of my father's colleagues, that 230 is not really a better score for Chicago or San Francisco. So I later dropped the plan, continued my third year exams and fourth year exams and internship. I also took DAMS exam series early in the internship, but then first exam there was physiology, I guess. So I started with physiology in my early internship, and throughout the internship, I managed to read physiology only. So I could not finish the DAMS exam series. Even one exam I could not give. So I'm really sorry for all the money that my parents have wasted on, which I could not
I think
finish. So
now,
on.
I think now you have. But Shivardhan, what I've seen is that don't be sorry, because I think today's in the world, like all the children have to, it's not easy to decide. Sometimes you decide on one thing, then you decide. But what I like is that this time you did not do the mistake of not revising. I think this time
Yes,
you did it perfectly well to get into top, 14th rank in the PGI exam. Awesome performance. I think this time you have made it well. Don't worry about that. No, and don't worry
and
about the past. And my suggestion is that I'm going to suggest is something different. That now that you've done your PGI and once you get into your residency, then appear for step 2 CK also, so that today the CS is not happening. You know that in the next 1 year there's no CS requirement in US. So if you can do
and they've
CK,
scrapped the score of USMLE step 1 as well. So
yeah, but you can do that ECFMG certification you can have with yourself. You can have that US license, and that can help you later on in a fellowship as well. So then everything would join together.
yes, sir.
Yeah. And once again, I would like to wish you all the best. Give a final motivational message to the future aspirants.
Yeah, I would like to give only one message, sir, and that's very important. In my situation, it has totally led to my downfall in the AIMS exam. So I'll tell you what happened. I started my preparation in January 2020 with DAMS and along with few other sources. So I came. I had T&D from DAMS. I've started, and my NEET rank was without any preparation. It was around 6,000. So I think I'm not interested in that area of that sector of NEET. So I came back and prepared with DAMS, and then through my preparation in April, when many of institutes like DAMS have conducted their mocks on various exams, I've appeared on all of them, and to my surprise, I've scored in most of them. I've appeared around 10 to 12 mocks in totally for this before appearing the final AIMS exam. In almost 10 exams, I've got in top 50, and then the last two I've got in top 100. Uh, uh, for a student like me who've never seen success like that, so I took the after the results of these mocks, it really elated me too much, and I was in overconfident state when I appeared for AIMS exam, and then when your hands are shaky and when you're trying to hit the target, there are many chances that you'll miss the target. So that exactly what has happened in AIMS exam for me, and this is what I'd like to tell to all the aspirants going through in the upcoming exam shortly. If any mock has lifted your spirits high, take it lightly. Do not take it for granted that you will be doing the same in your final exam. Do not go with the overconfidence. Do not go with with that audacious behavior, please. You have to do equally well in the exam to get a rank. None of your mock ranks really matter. The same happened to me in USMLE. The same repeated to me in the AIMS exam also. So if a CBT or if a mock has let you down, it's a good thing. I say you'll learn out of the mistakes you've done, and you'll go in a cautious approach and more in a more defensive approach to the exam. Unlike what happened to me, I had really good results with all the mocks, and then it led to my tremendous. I focused on, I diverted all my resources towards AIMS, and now I am nowhere in the top 100. But then something lucky happened in PGI, and I got in here. But then my real target was AIMS, and I went with an overconfident state, and I could not do it absolutely. So your mock rank doesn't matter. So please do not take mocks for granted. If you got a good rank, go with a positive attitude and cautious attitude that you would do equally well in the exam, but do not pamper yourself too much. That's what I would like to tell the students of upcoming exams.
And on this final note, by Dr. Srivardhan, that if you do not perform well in a mock test, don't get too depressed. If you perform very well, don't get too elated. Keep your balance in your preparation. Give a good exam and give multiple exams. Like he did in his AIMS exam, his rank was not so good, but in PGI he has a rank 14. Give multiple exams. Take your chances. I wish you all the best. Which branch do you want to take, Srivardhan? Any idea right now?
I'm leaving that to my parents, so they'll come home and they'll decide, and I'll
Definitely have a good word at home and make a great decision. I wish you all the best for your future and for your JIPMA results as well. God bless you, beta.
Thank you, sir. Have a nice day.